What's going on, you beautiful people? How are you? Fantastic? Loving life? Me too. Welcome to another episode of Mind Body Mastery. Now today is an episode just of myself. I'll be jumping in between getting people on as guests and doing stuff myself as well, all depending on a whole range of factors which you all don't even know about. But I wanted to jump in today and talk about a few topics which really popped up this morning. Like the past few days have been a bit shit. When I say a bit shit, like I've been doing work, I've been getting things done, but this felt like I've been pushing shit uphill, and not like a solid shit as well, like a runny shit. It's felt a bit difficult. And it's when these days are coming up and these days are happening, that it's stepping back and being kind to yourself. And remembering to be kind to yourself, I think that's the hardest part. And that's the biggest thing we change is if we want to change, we need to remember to catch ourselves when we're doing the old habit that we don't want to do to be able to make the change. And this is something I've been getting better with over time. Like, look, we've all lived and we've all gone through those cycles where we keep reliving the same habits and we go, why does this keep happening? Why do I keep doing this? Why do I feel like shit? Why aren't things changing? Because we're stuck in that state of trying to basically change our habits with the same mentality, and that's not going to happen. We need to switch our mentality to change our habits. And that's one thing that as I said, I've been getting a lot better with over the years. I used to be very, for lack of a better word, asleep when things were happening. I just continually repeat the cycle and just let the cycles happen. And I then beat myself up about these cycles. And I think that was the hardest thing. You'd beat yourself up about the cycles. You'd then hide behind drugs. You'd hide behind getting stoned all the time. You'd hide behind sleeping all day. You'd find ways to hide behind it without addressing it. And that's been, as I said, one of the biggest things I've been doing recently is making sure I'm kinder to myself. But you've all probably seen on my stories when I'm having a shit day is I'll post it on my story on Instagram, and I will just go, having a shit day, you know what, it's okay. I'm gonna do nothing. And they're the days that I catch myself and allow those shit days to happen. There are other shit days where like I said, I feel like I'm pushing shit uphill and nothing's working. But then I'm also acting from a place of lack. I'm acting from a place of, I need to get this done because I've set myself a goal of getting everything done before I go to Thailand and Bali and go live with monks. And it's all gonna happen. Everything is gonna be in place and everything's gonna be working before then. But I'm still putting that restriction on me. Or not even a restriction, limitation. I'm still hard on myself in that sense of I want everything to be happening yesterday and everything to be working, but it's not, and it doesn't work like that. It takes time. And these are the moments that I need to remind myself. So which goes into the first part that I wanted to talk about. And that was, I remind myself of, there you go, take advantage of the high days when the low days are hard because the low days can be low. That's one thing that really settled with me today. And I've always known that. I've preached that, but you know how you can preach something, but it takes a little bit to click in yourself. What this morning was at click in myself of, okay. Now I saw, what's her name? What is her name? Is it Lisa Hormozi? It is Lisa, isn't it? Hold up. I just need to have a look at this because for some reason I'm drawing a mind blank even though I'm pretty sure it's Lisa. Oh my, Layla, close. Layla posted something the other day, and what she posted, Layla was close to Lisa, by the way. Layla posted something the other day, is like take advantage of the high days because of the low days. It was something like that. And it was one of those things that really clicked this morning, is take advantage of those high days because when those low days come, those low days are gonna come and they're gonna happen. And look, I know neurodivergents are gonna get it more often than neurotypicals. I mean, I've lived my entire life as a neurodivergent, and to be fair, I only found out I was neurodivergent ADHD 3 or 4 years ago. But like those low days, now the low days that I get, they're understandable, a part of the neurodivergence. But lost my train of thought for a second. I'll get it back. Yeah, when those low days come, they do hit quite hard. I could have days where I get up with a whole bunch of beans. I'll go for a walk. I'll come back in, finish my morning routine, and next year, I go, fuck that, I'm doing nothing today. I've had days where I've laid in bed and gone, fuck that, I'm doing nothing today. I've had days where I've done half the day and then going, yeah, I'm off for the rest of the day. Like those days are more often than not. Like that's the harsh reality of it. And I think it's accepting that that's the harsh reality of it. But then you get days like today where I got up, it was raining, it was cold, it was windy, I had a beautiful dog licking me on the face, and I was like, you ready, boy? Okay, let's go for a walk. So we basically got in the car, drove down to Hillary's, which is a boat harbour down over here in Perth, and I fucking took Hades for a walk. Took him for a walk for about an hour and a half. Podcast in, The Changed Mind by David Bayer, fucking amazing podcast. We got back to the car and it was about, 10 to 7? And I was like, I'm gonna go home, but there was a big part of me going, no, watch the sunrise. Stay for sunrise. Stay sun gazing. I was like, okay. This is the whole conversation happening in my head as well, by the way. I was like, okay, let's go get a coffee. So I drove up to one of the coffee vans, grabbed the coffee, and then came back down and grabbed Hades and walked up the top of the viewpoint and stood there and sun gazed. And it was beautiful because he sat right on my leg. Now, a little precursor to this is I'm always trying to find new ways that I can train with him. And last night I was looking at something about getting your dog on the lead to stay right next to you. And so I practiced that. It was basically every time he got to the end of the lead and he kept trying to pull, is you'd change direction or you'd stop. And it would then you shorten the lead over time and eventually he'll walk next to you, which he did. And he's a fucking very smart dog. So he picked it up very quickly. I think we got about half hour, 40 minutes in, and he was literally right next to me by the end of it. So we got up the top to do the sun gazing, and he literally sat right next to me. He looked at me. I was like, sit. He just stared at me with those beautiful blue eyes, and we sat there and watched the sun together. Well, I watched the sun. Fuck knows what he was doing. I was watching, but it was beautiful. Did about 4 or 5 minutes of sun gazing, and then came home, and I was like, all the ideas started coming to me again. I felt clear. I felt clarity. Whether that's the sun gazing, whether it was just the day, whether it was whatever, it could have been a whole number of factors. But the thing is I knew today was going to be a great day. Now I know there are people who have mental health disorders that are a lot worse than ADHD, where they could have one good day and one good day in 30. I'm grateful, obviously that's not me. But I'm like, today's a good day. Cool, let's take advantage of it. So I took advantage. I filmed 6 episodes or 6 little mini episodes of stretching, which are live in the actual group, in the MBM group under stretching. You've got 2 lower, 2 upper, and 2 full bodies, which gives me more content for social media as well. And I'm also filming this podcast because I was like, I had these ideas come talking about what I want to talk about today, which was taking advantage of the high days and low days. There's 2 other things we're going to touch on as well, which you have, just go fucking read it until I can. State changes, but also transformation isn't as hard as what we think it is. It's the limitations or the limiting beliefs that we put on transformation or change that make it difficult. So these are the 3 things I'm touching on today, and they all kind of work together, which is quite nice. But today has been that day where I'm like, okay, let's take advantage of the day, of the up day. Let's get as much fucking done as we can, because it's going to help. It's going to be a big step forward, because you never know. I don't know how long this is going to last, but you never know when when the down days are going to come and how long they're going to last. So really, if you are a person that goes through those high days and low days, take advantage of those high days. Really take advantage, dive in, go fucking hard, because those low days are going to come where you feel like you're bashing your head against the wall, where you feel like you're pushing soggy shit uphill. It's going to happen, the reality of it. So it's taking advantage and almost biohacking. I'm not really a fan of the word biohacking, but it's almost like hacking yourself. You know which days are going to be good, so you take advantage of those days for the days that are shit. It's as simple as that. The reason I don't like biohacking is it's fucking many different reasons behind it, but I'm not going to go into that because that's a completely different episode of podcast. Yeah. Anyway, so that was a big thing about today. We're taking advantage of those down days. So if you are having that down day, be kind to yourself when you are having that down day. If you're in a string of down days that have been a down week to a down month or whatever it is, look, start doing a few different things and changing your state. Now this is where we go into state change. When you can have a state change is you can then get yourself out of one area into another. So there was a funny one as a form of a state change, that if you're in an argument with your partner, one of you fucking do a handstand and get your bum in the air, or just however you get your bum in the air, or show your bum or do something. And it's completely random, but it's a completely different thing, because you're not gonna be able to turn around and get angry while someone's getting the bum out. Or try to laugh or do something, just like, I don't know if you all saw the video the other day that I did where it was like, copy me, ha, 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 ha. Point in case. But it's having a state change. And the reason why a state change is good is because it can break you out of the shit state into a good state. And this is if I'm talking about if we've been in this for a long time. This can be used short term as well if you're having, like, as I said, if you're having an argument. But long term, when I'm saying long term and using a state change, obviously it's not that easy as getting your bum in the air. But you're going to have to do an environment change. You're going to have to get yourself away for a few days. You're going to have to change the people you're around. You're going to have to change exactly what you're doing. That's where you're going to have to shift away from what's not working into something that is working. I had my mate Kobe here the other day. He'd been in a pretty rough spot for quite a while. And I was like, just come to Perth. Come here, come to the house. You're around good people, good energy, all that sort of stuff. The poor boy was terrified when he got here. And the fact is he had to leave the house and leave where he was. He was like, oh man, I don't know if this is the right idea. He got here, admitted to me about a day later that he was terrified and kind of was having moments where he was trying to jump on a plane. But he was here for 3 or 4 days. And even those 3 or 4 days, he had conversations with different people that he'd never had. He'd cried in front of he'd cried with me, or cried for me, to me. Basically, we had a conversation in the car and he was able to release and cry. And he was able to have these conversations, which he's been craving for a long time, but also be around people and a different energy that's different to what he has at home. So much so he's gone back, he's stuck to everything he's doing for 3 days, which reminds me I need to send him a message. But he's stuck to everything that he's doing for 3 days. And he's also moving over here. Like, that's because he had a state change, an environment change, a people change. He had a change out in the environment that wasn't working for him. So try that. If you are stuck, change your environment, change your people around, change the route you go to work, change what hand you brush your teeth with, change the TV shows you watch, change fucking not doing anything to doing something, as in like not doing a morning routine or being lazy to going out and doing something, to playing games, learning guitar, learning a language, something different, something that fulfills you, something that feels good. I know you feel, and I'm guilty for this as well. There are days where I'm like, okay, I know doing guitar is gonna help me. I know going for a run is gonna help me. I know all this is gonna help me, but I just physically can't move. I literally have to then add the 5-second rule in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. As soon as I do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move, state change, environment change, whatever it is, I'm able to get the ball rolling. It's like with stretching. Stretching used to be the bane of my existence. I used to fucking hate it. But also, I hated it because I was bodybuilding and I had too much shit going on. Where now, it is the fucking linchpin, the main thing in my life that I love doing because it keeps me flexible, it keeps me good, and I know I feel great afterwards. Excuse you. So having a state change when you're feeling like shit, whether it's however long it is, try adding in a state change. It will fucking be a game changer. Literally, don't excuse the pun. And then from the state change, I'm gonna go, which again leads into transformation and change and the limitations that we have around the belief of transformation and change. Now, when we look at transformation, look at a fitness transformation, for example. That fitness transformation is going to be 10, 12, 16, 18, 20 weeks, however long it is, depending on the person's starting point. With that transformation, yeah, that's difficult because it's long. It's long. You're doing things you haven't done before. You are eating differently, you're training more, you're sleeping more. Like, it's a full transition of change. But it's perceived as hard because it's stuff that you don't do. But if you come from somewhere like me, where that transformation is easy as fuck, you just got to do the thing and it takes time. That's a complete different perspective on the exact same thing. It's literally all perspective. What you can say about a word, your thoughts and ideas and how you feel about that word will determine your beliefs on that. So if I were to say fuck, okay, fuck can be used as anything. Positive, negative, anger, happiness, whatever it is, it can be used as that. Just like change. Change is good. You change lanes, you change clothes. I was going to say you change your job. That could be a bit more difficult. But it's those things. The reason why it was usually difficult is because it's a process, like a bit of a process in between. When it's an easy change, like changing clothes, change the movie, or this sort of stuff, it's easy because the distance between where you are and the end result is shorter. So when we look at trying to transform ourselves, trying to transform our mindset, trying to transform our body, all these sorts of things, it feels like it's so far away and it feels so hard because of the things that we have to do in the middle. But those things that we have to do in the middle, if we don't love those or learn from those or enjoy those or whatever it is to love the process, enjoy the process, then the end result is going to seem further away and won't feel worth it. The thing is, like, let's look at The Biggest Loser or lottery winners, okay? The end result for those guys. Biggest Loser, who loses the most weight in the shortest amount of time. Lottery winners, you basically get given a fuckload of money for doing nothing, okay? Get the end result straight away. The reason The Biggest Loser, they put the weight back on quite quickly, or the reason why lottery winners lose all their money is because they haven't earned the money to get there. They haven't learned the process and the love and the respect for money. So by the time they get all the money, they spend it all, they fuck it up, they lose it. Biggest Loser, they don't learn and respect the actual process. They're smashing themselves and eating fuck all food and dropping the weight quickly. But the process in between is where it's fucked up. So that's why they put the weight back on. This is why when we look at change and we look at transformation, you get to the end to have the position you want to be in, whatever it may be. If you get that straight away, you're not going to keep it, you're not going to stick to it, you're not going to enjoy it because you haven't built the habits. You haven't built the respect. You haven't put in the time to get the change. So you lose it straight away. You go back to old habits. You don't change. This is why for you to become the person you want to be, you have to actually start to become that person. What does that person do? So let's look at habits, okay? Let's say, okay, you want to be a millionaire. You want to, I don't know, fucking be a marathon runner. You want to be a bodybuilder. You want to, whatever it may be, what are the things that are required to do that thing? Bodybuilding, you need to be able to eat, you need to train, you need to sleep, you need to prioritize yourself, you need to do all those sorts of things. So those are the things you have to learn to love to be able to become a top bodybuilder. When you look at someone who wants to be a multimillionaire, they have to go through the phases of learning the business or learning trading or however they're making money. They have to go through the hard yards to be able to get all of that, to be able to earn that money. And when they earn that money, they have the money, but once they earn that money, they have the respect for it, the understanding and the education about the money. And 9 times out of 10, if they lose all that money, they know exactly how to make it back and will make the money back and more. So this is, side tangent, still a part of it. This is why when it comes to transformational change, it is what our perception is of transformational change. We're talking mindset here. We're talking about becoming a newer version of yourself. We're talking about becoming the person that you are going to be or that you want to be. But to become that person, you have to start being that person. So that is let's use, again, we're in the mindset sort of area, and you want to live a better life. You want to stick to better habits. You want to be this person that gets up at 7 o'clock, can be disciplined, can train, can travel the world, can do whatever it is you want to do. We need to start putting those habits in place. So that is, this is in my opinion, okay? Having a morning routine. That is fundamental, because that morning routine doesn't have to be 2 hours like mine. It doesn't have to be 3 hours like some. It could be 5, 10, 15 minutes. But it's getting up, starting the day right, and transforming how your morning is. If you're a person who gets up, scrolls on social media, then has a coffee, goes and makes your bed or leaves it on, however you have your bed, but then the day's pretty shit, where you kind of live in that state of fear, you live in that state of wondering what everyone's saying, what's going on in the world, what's happening in social media, all this sort of shit. If that's how you live your life, cool, there's no judgment on there. But if you want to transform your life and change to become a better person, or to become a different person to who you already are, then you need to start making a change. And in my opinion, a morning routine, something dedicated to you through a pillar of spirituality, a pillar of fitness, and a pillar of education, those three in your morning, is vital. No, it wasn't Einstein that said it. Fucking the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. That wasn't Einstein, it was someone else. Can't remember who it was. But with that in mind, I just heard Hades bark. With that in mind, if you're going to try to change and you're going to try to transform, then you're not going to do it by doing the same shit. Simple. So this is where we change your belief about transformation and change. You go, well, on one hand, you can look at it and go, fuck, this change is going to be so hard. Look at all the things I've got to do. It's so far down the track for me to become that person I want to be. Motherfucker, this sucks. Or you can go, actually, this is going to be fun because I get to discover a whole new level of me. I get to discover what I'm capable of. I get to learn new things. I get to put myself first. I get to do all these things that the new person who I want to be. And that new person who you want to be and who you're going to become will no doubt love everything they've had to do to become to where they are. This is exactly where I am. Everything that I've done, I wouldn't change a thing, no matter what, wouldn't change it. Every process, all the bodybuilding I've done, all the stripping I've done to now doing this, it's all been a process, it's all been a journey, and I've loved every bit of it because I immerse myself in what it is, and transformation and change is fucking simple to me. It's easy, you just do the thing. You enjoy it and you grow with it. It's like everyone has seen the transformation of the rebrand that I've done. I've done like 3 rebrands. Not public or in social media, but I've literally done 3 rebrands. More, actually. I was in the army, went to the mines, sold everything and moved to the UK. Joined Forbidden, it's PT. Or PT bodybuilding and Forbidden were all at the same side. Then I left stripping and it's about 7 or 8 fucking rebrands. There you go. But it's because I love the process. And you want to know what's wild? For me to be exactly where I am now, just go back a second. The amount of people that have said to me, your rebrand is incredible. I love that you've rebranded. I love this. It suits you. It fits you. Like the fact you just eat, you're able to do it so seamlessly. The fact it works for you is just incredible. And the reason why it works for me is I've actually been doing this stuff my entire life. I look at what I've been doing with stripping, being on stage, but also in the area of changing lives. Because we've still made people incredibly happy doing what we did on stage. We were able to help relationships and marriages because people felt they could go home and ravish their husband or their wife after seeing us gyrate on stage. Boom. And also, people actually loved the fact is we loved what we were doing, and they saw the human side of us because we had fun on stage. So that's going to prep me for speaking on stage, but it also preps me for still being in the state of changing lives. Then you look at bodybuilding. What I do with the bodybuilding has been a massive thing of my life for the past 10 years. I've loved every bit of it. I've learned so much through nutrition and training, again, being on stage. And that comes into what I'm doing with Consciously Ash. I'm still doing nutrition, I'm still doing stretching, some training with clients. And then we go across to coaching. It helps me with client handling, client information, one-on-one calls, everything. So everything I've been doing, especially the last 10 years in the UK, has led me to this point now where I've learnt social media then. I'm grateful that I've had the following grow the way it has. And I'm really fucking grateful for that. I'm grateful people love seeing the content and what I'm doing, because all of this feels so incredibly natural and authentic to me. It's wild. It feels so easy. Even though I have hard days, it feels so easy. But everything has led me to this point. Everything has been a transformation and a change, but the transformation and change has led to this transformation and change where I am now, where I want to speak on stage. I want to have a strong crypto portfolio, have a family. I want to be coaching. I want to be I'm going to take on 5 clients every 6 months, having a strong community, sharing content, sharing information. All these things are things that I've learned over time to be able to get me here. So let that sink in. Like, where are you at the moment? Where do you want to be? And how is everything in your life so far actually been a precursor to where you are, where you want to be? It's all leading you there. They're all lessons in these things that you're doing, all these failures, all these jobs, all these rebrands, all these identities, all these things that you've had to have. There's something in all of these that are going to help you to where you want to be, but you just need to point them out. And once you point them out, once you acknowledge them, and you then look back at your life, you then go, oh shit, I've actually changed multiple times throughout my life. I've transformed a lot. It was actually pretty easy when you think about it. Don't get me wrong, it's not all easy. It is hard. Some people, we have a dark night of the soul. My dark night of the soul at the start of the year really fucking kicked my ass. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I questioned fucking everything. It sucked, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So, yeah, look back at where you've been. Look back at the lessons and the challenges and everything that you've had. Look at how many times you've transformed and become the person you are now. Because that person you are now, or the person you're going to become, or the person you're becoming, is happening through the change that you've had your entire life. So when we look at transformational change, the immediate limiting belief that a lot of people have is it's hard and it's difficult. But let's rewire that, let's reframe that. And let's look at everything being a lesson. And it's actually been fairly easy, and it is fairly easy, and it's enjoyable change. And as soon as we start to reframe that, the change and the transformation will become so much easier. Guarantee it. It's like with someone who hates lunges or burpees. If you hate lunges on this side, lunges or burpees on this side, they fucking suck, and you feel like you're there for fucking 10 days. Where you got some twisted human over this side who goes, I fucking love them. It's the best thing and easiest thing in the world for them. Perspective. It's literally all it is. Obviously, it can be easier said than done. But if it's easier said than done, and you are struggling to take that on, you're questioning it, and you're going, oh yeah, but what about this, what about this, what about this? That is you and your limiting beliefs getting in the way of you being able to transform it. Simple. Basically, get the fuck out of your own way. Be kinder to yourself on down days. Make sure you try, if nothing's working, try state change. And make sure you try to switch your perspectives on change and transformation to be able to get the best out of what you're trying to do to become the best version of you. Anyway, that was fun. I had no idea where that was going to go. But I'm pretty sure we got to where we wanted to. But anyway, I am going to love you and leave you all. Tell you I appreciate you, and I love you, and I'm grateful for you, and I'm truly, truly, truly fucking grateful for you being here, being a part of the community. I really am. And I'm looking forward to going away to live with monks, but then to come back and share everything that I've learned with you. This is the reason why I'm doing it, is because I don't want to just go to some class and learn meditation for someone. I want to go to the source. I want to skip all the bullshit, and I want to be able to learn properly so I can then come back and teach you all. So, with that in mind, I love you. You're amazing. Aho.